Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. We have made it to the final game of the night for me and Snods, and it should be a bit of a bloodbath, I think it's fair to say, but always room for upset potential. It's always there when you've got the Misfits side coming in.
There is, obviously. Misfits done the homework, of course. Sean Gares notorious for the demo reviews and the strategy leading up to the tournament, and let's see how much anti-strategy there's to be seen.
Yeah, exactly. Or what is MSL really going to be bringing through for the side of North? Obviously, North going to be their opponents now as we slowly trickle through our Group B matchups for today. Just break this down for me, really, just your general opinions on this, because, you know, it's a bit of an interesting one.
Straight off the bat, 75 to 25, maybe even 70 to 30 in favor of North. I think North and Misfits play very regimented, but regimented in a different way.
Okay.
Misfits is regimented in terms of strict execute, strict tactics, and very telegraphed plays, whereas MSL has a very strict structure, but the rounds are a lot more loose and free-flowing, and they work within the structure themselves. Just if you see what I mean, it's quite hard to explain.
It's more
no, I can't explain it.
I think it's more so in layman.
Hopefully the game explains it. Hopefully the gameplay explains it.
It's basically sort of the idea, Sean Garris is an in-game leader, a lot more anti-strat before the game, a lot more sort of set calls from spawn. He'll have set strategies that he wants to use throughout, whereas MSL, it's a little bit more adaptative. It can change on the fly if there are kinks and things in the road that need them to change their strategy.
Already they're going to be going live into this one, as it will be Misfits starting on the CT side, and a three-man stack towards A long coming out from Misfits. One towards drop, and only Shazam towards B. As North are currently outside this B bomb site. Molotov is probably going to go towards Chicken Coop. Smoke's raining in towards the site. It's going to be isolating Shazam.
Push coming through, though, as they try and slip their way in towards that B site. Shazam is ready as he actually does get the opener. Takes down AZ, but there's a response from Valde. He does not miss a trick as he swings wide with that Glock and executes the first line of defense. The only line of defense, really, now, as Sean has also fallen, remaining with just Sick, Amanek, and Devidek miles away from the action, but they will be rotating over to attempt to do something into the round.
4 versus 3 now, no defuse kick currently for Misfits. And it's going to be 2 towards B platform. And 1 Sick alone isolated towards connected. Let's see what Config and Co can do.
Oh, Sick making first contact. Will tag down MSL. Pops his head and the follow-up as well. Finally some excitement as Amanek and Devidek also work together as a tag team to blow away Valde and Cajun B. And they have the control of the round. Misfits will get the first one on the board off a very unorthodox pistol round for the aggression that we saw from North. They still are able to bring it back in the late round.
Wow, Config and MSL, they're going for the 2-1 peak. Both double facing towards Sick, but as his name does prevail, lands with both those headshots as they almost line up for him, essentially. MSL peeking in front of Config means Config couldn't quite have the perfect shot in towards the cranium of Sick. He lines them both up and does shut them down. 1-0 as Misfits come up with a massive upset on the pistol, and that's the sort of things you need to be seeing if you want to be seeing the upset come to fruition for the North American side. Especially on the CT side as well, so I feel like that's sort of one of the things we need to look towards there. Is last time on an overpass, it seemed like it was a little bit slow to try and get the stability there, but obviously looking good with a nice early opener. Hopefully they can try and further that through and don't get reset. Molotov comes out towards stairs from Valde, means they can give time for the T side to work up the grenades, pin the grenades, and execute towards B.
They'll be bursting their way out now and trying to use their triumphant aggression to work out well, but Shazam instead will just be turning them into an easy-to-eat meal as he just punishes them all off the back of the MP9. Spam furthers his score as well as he actually gets that close-range kill on towards Config. Cajun going to be the only one that had different ideas into the round. But anyhow, Misfits will still close it out, and that's going to be a ton of cash for Shazam as well. 6.1k already grabbed off the back of that. I mean, he's going to be happy.
And that's the play you want as well. The primary AWP for your side, especially on your CT side as well, get him stacked up with cash and get him confident as well. This is one of the things that are so important for your star players. I mean, even on Cloud9, Sean Gares said in an interview with Shroud where he would use the eco rounds, the force rounds where the enemies are on pistols to, on Dust 2, used to be run up through mid. On a map like, Cobblestone we're seeing here, peek towards mid platform, peek towards mid. Get those early frags and get your star players confident and feeling hot and ready for this matchup.
Very true. Devidek towards close mid as well, was just waiting for something like this to come his way, and it's been gifted to him. MSL just going for the slow contact play in, trying to scope out towards that A site, and was greeted by him and goes down. Meanwhile as well, towards Olaf, there's the aggression coming through. These MP9s are reigning supreme against what can be thrown at them. Everyone goes down. Shazam, another juicy round as well. So he's still racked up a ton more cash. 7 frags already for Shazam now, so he should be quite happy and hyped up.
Question now for Misfits, how many of this SMGs are you going to be carrying forward into the buy round? Seems like the answer currently is 2 Jack, UMP for Sean Gares, MP9 for Sick, so they can play 2 towards drop and leave Shazam towards B platform. If they're going to play 2 players towards A, I want to see early plat control from Misfits, which means these SMGs can work towards drop, and obviously leave Shazam alone towards B. But let's see if North are going to try and contest it early.
Looking like they are grouping up to go for this play towards that A site. Early on as North slowly make their advance. Obviously trying to keep those players stationed towards B as well, not allow them to get too much of an effective read on the situation. MSL with a nice entry, punishes Devidek. There is a trade back, but luckily Config was poised for that, as they now have complete control towards the A site. They can slip in. They also have time to work with here as well, Snods. There is no initial response from the side of Misfits.
4 versus 3. Diffuse get for Sick. Shazam with a smoke. Molotov as well for 6. They can go for the save if they want to. Sean is going to be wielding the SMG, which means at range it's going to be so hard to have an effect with that one. They boost over the connector smoke, trying to see if they can find a consolation frag to maybe ignite a chance for this if they went to 3 versus 3, but notoriously that A-bomb site jack is so hard to retake. The reason being is there's so many crossfires you can have from the T's, the headshot angle towards middle, you can play towards tree, towards APC, line up the crossfires where the CTs have to walk into you, and there's so many angles you can be hiding. Wood, a long, you know, the list never really ends.
Yeah, not too grand of a round there for the side of Misfits as well, because their economy wasn't too fantastic. I mean, Shazam basically only on 2.7, I think, as well, because of the investment into that AWP and the rest of the utility. So losing that round will obviously reset them a little bit now, putting them back on a level playing field. But good for North to actually start to get the ball rolling as soon as they could whip out those firearms. They will still be able to reinvest on the side of Misfits, of course, but building that economy could be quite hard if they do let a few rounds slip on the trot.
Precisely. As we enter to round number 5, it's going to be 3-1. Misfits still have the advantage, of course, but it is a quick pause caused, well timed with only a few seconds left on freeze time. Sean Gers obviously saving the UMP. MP9 saved as well by Sick. Shazam saving the AWP and the M4, both invested by Amanek and Devidek. So, quick chat about Misfits on Cobblestone. I've rewatched one of the demos before, and Amanek is the player to watch. He's the player that anchors this A-bomb site so well. It's so rare, Jack, to find these fundamentally sound, anchor-style-esque players that don't overpeak, that don't overface, don't throw those frags. They get their one kill, they fall back, they smoke off the choke point, they fall back onto the side, they Molotov, they delay, they get time for the rotations. Very hard to find that style of play, because in North America, same with the UK scene as well, Jack, you could argue, the players that are seen and cited are the players like Sick, who have the crazy flick aim, who get the 30 bomb, when really, especially in the North American region, you could argue the players like Amanek, who are these imports as well, these players aren't North American born. They've been imported in because there's a lack of that style of player in North America right now.
It's very true. You can see that actually coming through, obviously. As right now he tries to play in support with Devidek as the push comes around. Amanek will actually get the opener, shuts down MSL this time around. He has the combo as well. Cbble will be able to further it, but the CTs come out on top overall, leaving everything on Valde and AZ. This is horrible for them as well. Not a great spot to be in, especially when they're more so trapped towards that B side of the map here. They're going to need to try and take down early drop-down control. Sick is waiting from the other side. If he's able to pick up the frags here off the back of the MP9 as well, it's going to be insult to injury.
50 seconds left. Platt in control of the CT side, which means drop is available as AZ and Coach want to split it towards the B side. They find the first frag onto Sick, isolating Shazam towards B platform with the AWP. But a smoke comes out towards Speedway and Sight. The bomb goes down, Jack. There's still a potential here for North.
AZ looking like he was trying to flick too fast there, actually. His mouse sensor got a little bit overwhelmed and flicked down to the ground. Valde waiting for the push to come in as well. One bullet, one kill is all it takes. He pops the cranium clean off of Shazam, leaving him dead on the floor. Devidek and Sean Gers coming through, though. Sean Gers ripping them a new one off the back of that UMP. But Valde's in the rear. He's so ready for this as the first spray comes through. Shuts down Devidek. It's all on Sean now. Will he be smart enough to win this round? It won't matter. It's going to be the absolute brutal brawn of Valde that comes through as he's able to rip him apart with the AK. Another round for North. It looked like it was going to be the reset. They got them so close, so broken. It was just Valde left, but he went massive when he needed to, really stepping up there.
A 4 versus 2. Platt control, a site control. They lacked presence towards drop. Sean Gers. The 1 versus 1 between Valde. And it all comes down to a fast decision to make the split via window towards the B-bomb site and isolate each of those players singly towards Electric and towards platform. So, MP7 and MAC-10 from MSL and Config is going to be the 2 AKs above Valde and AZ. And of course, Cbble with the primary AWP as we go into round number 6, it will be 3-2. As there will be another buy coming from the CT side. As Config lines up the end of a long smoke. Molotov comes out as well towards the close cubby of a long. Maybe North are expecting a much weaker buy that actually Misfits currently possess.
Be flashing over in towards that B site. They get themselves ready. The actual counter smoke comes in early though, but they have got drop down control. MSL going to be the only one teaming his way through. He's joined by Valde now as he spams off a few warning shots. They do have a rough idea of what is going down to this round, but you can see the paranoia, especially doubled up with this backstab from Config.
You can really see the power right now of taking early drop down control, Jack. Look at the utility that Misfits have left. No Molotovs, no smokes. 40 seconds left on the clock, so now North can freely walk into any of these sites they want to. If they go for an execution, there's going to be no resistance in terms of counter grenades to fend them back.
Oh, Shazam finally comes in with a kill though, spots out MSL and is able to tag him through the wall and take him down. But here comes the true play. It's grouped up, pent aggression towards this A site. AZ with the entry, but they're not ready for Amanek. Playing on the close range angle, unfortunately, couldn't really get himself going into that one. Config with the MP7, slaying everyone in front of him. The Sick will fall down. Shazam is forced to retreat, 17 HP, cannot risk really facing here. Going for pot shots as he hopes to try and tag someone up on the cross, but really, as long as he can just save this up and get away, that's probably his best case scenario.
It is indeed. You can see his money as well on the left corner, $100 to his name, so we're able to reinvest into the ADBP into the next round. May as well, I mean, it's a risk playing for exit frags, of course, but try and save the AWP into the next round.
Might have pushed his luck a little bit too far as well, because he's given so much time for Valde to rotate rounds. Nods. He's now got in towards drop. Shazam's low as well. Comboed with this now double aggression coming through from Config. It should just be a free frag. You take down Shazam. Not only is that now Misfits pretty broken, that has that AWP out of play as well for a substantial amount of time.
It is indeed. North on their T-side defaults, taking heavy control towards drop down, and it applies so much pressure, Jack, onto the CT defense. You're forcing out the smokes towards electric. You're forcing out the flashbangs, the Molotovs that go towards platform to deny a B split. You're forcing a rotation from the A site, leaving Amanek alone, potentially, if they want to play towards double towards drop and not have the same scenario where they got split via window towards the B site. And it draws so many of the resources from the CT side, which means Misfits were spread thin, and they weren't able to try and counter the fast play from North as they flood up through mid-ramp. Anyway, they're back onto the SMGs, and this time it's well thought versus these pistols.
Yeah, Config could actually be incredibly strong into this. He could have a glorious round here if they all push him together. Is that MP9, or the MP7 rather, could be so naughty if they all converge through at the same time. I'm trying to bait them in with a flash play as well. If he steps in, they are actually holding a fairly effective crossfire, so transferring damage should work out quite well in their favor. He oversteps the mark. It's taken down by 6. Sean Gez as well comes back through. These CZ, you cannot count Misfit out right now as they are doing work. Eventually, Sean will go down as Valde is able to tackle him with the AK. Repositions back round as well, trying to clear out the nooks and crannies. Fully discovers that the B site is open and susceptible to this attack. But here comes the retake squad.
3 versus 3. Ace is a smoke as well towards Connector if they want to deny the retake for now. But the smoke is still in his arsenal. Cbble misses a shot towards Electric, allows Sick to run out through Electric and find the frag. Onto Valde, and now to the 2 versus 2.
Need to try and keep Cage on the move as well. Really apply pressure at different times, so he's consistently roaming around. Can't actually hold an angle where he'll get an easy free frag with that AWP right now. Try and take those fights as they bob and weave. Cajun will still follow up, finding these damage and impact kills though. Takes down Daviduek. It's all on Amanek now. He does have the upgraded weapon, but from that distance, it isn't going to matter anyway. AZ will be able to find the headshot off the back of the M4. A couple of taps takes him down as North now take the lead.
Round number 8. And for Misfits, if they lose this round, Jack, I'd like to see a pause going forward. They would have lost and conceded 5 rounds on the trot, having no real answer to the slow style of CS we've seen from North. In the first bar, and then with the contact play towards A long, fair enough. But ever since then, it's been slow play towards drop, slow play towards B platform, towards A. They work their magic across the board. And one of the problems is for Misfits is they're spread so thin once the pressure is delivered towards drop.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, we've seen sort of, numerous amount of times where they have been stuck in that B site, when A site has just been completely toppled and they've overthrown every defense that was there. Misfits at that point, sure, you might have the opportunity and the firepower to attempt to retake that, but if you physically can't get in the site due to smoke walls, there's nothing you can do.
Doesn't get much better than this though, Jack. Sick and Shazam have control of B platform. This is where we should be seeing 2 towards drop and leaving the AWP alone towards B platform, which is in full effect right now. Sick and Sean Gez holding off the aggression towards drop. Sean Gez playing passive with the M4 towards Connector door on the A-bomb site. He can hold the window jump out. Then you have Sick playing towards Electric, leaving Shazam alone towards B platform. So in terms of the CT defense, Jack, for Misfits, they're not going to get a much better opportunity than this. If they lose this one, we need to see a pause and a rethought and a recalibrated CT side defense.
Config. He's going to be trying to work on the initial cracks that he can find in that CT side defense, though. Come around on this face, Deviduek focusing in towards the angle. He's going to need to be swift and actually landing that one tap right between the eyes. Instead, Deviduek takes him down. The elevated angle works out fantastically for him. He will strike first and strike harder. Sick as well. Able to now capitalize off the back of this. This staggered push from North, entering one by one, not really working together as a unit. No real potential for trades there, and they all go down. They trickle through. Misfits do tie it up.
And there you have it. CT side, Cobblestone 101. Essential textbook CS. You hold for a second. You then go for B platform control, smoke the end of A long, flash, molly out the left cubby where the wood is. And then once you have control of the platform, you can then send an extra player towards drop. And we saw it there, Sick being the extra man towards drop, which we haven't seen so far from Misfits, playing 2 towards drop before. It's only Sean Gears to give it up. That is the difference maker, as I said before. 2 drop, leaving the AWP alone towards platform. You can hold the long range angles towards electric, towards B platform as well. You then have your 2 A players that can rain freely, essentially. As Sean Gears was towards connector, so he could spot the window jump out. Plus, you had Amanek to hold towards A long. And sorry, Deviduek as well, holding towards A long. So it doesn't really get much better than that.
Yeah. Good to see, obviously, actually, North as well, using their pauses fairly early on into this matchup. We've seen already today quite a few teams that have let it extend a little bit too far before they've used that initial pause to try.
I think with Hellraisers, there was 7-1 down versus Luminosity, I believe it was, or something like that, where we saw the first pause and obviously a 12-3 half. But obviously, that didn't really make too much of a difference going into overtime. But nevertheless, 4-4, and MSL calling the tactical timeout, trying to see if he can decipher this current CT setup that's been thrown at them from the likes of Misfits. And how do you counter early B platform control where they flood back in towards drop? Do you go fast towards drop at the start when you know Shazam's going to be alone? Do you send more players towards B platform? Do you send a player, maybe config or so, an explosive player towards the cubby, have another player back of B platform that you can flash for? Or do you go for counter map control towards the A side of the map? You say, okay, you can take control of B, we'll take control of A, and then towards, 50 seconds left, they can flash plat, retake plat control, and then suddenly that's going to leave Misfits guessing as to where North will end up.
Well, let's see if Misfits can continue what they actually achieved in that prior round, being able to actually play a more effective style setup here on that CT side, or if North have got their number now.
5 versus 5, still with a minute 15 left on the clock. Control towards Matrix. And you can see Valde. And I believe that's AZ. Can't quite see as they're overlapped over the radar. Taking control, and it is AZ. Taking control of drop. Smoke comes out towards electric. They money out underneath, and now they can just hold and wait and see what the response is. Are Misfits going to throw grenades out and bleed out the utility early? But let's see. This is what I meant, Jack. The 50 seconds retake of B platform means Misfits are going to be left guessing as to where North will eventually conclude.
Keeps you on your toes, keeps you in the unknown as well. Because obviously I'm just going to be waiting for this push to come towards him. Ideally, MSL setting up. He appears to be going for that connector smoke. You've got the rest of them grouping towards close mid as well, so they can burst through as a unit. Deviduek completely unfazed by that flash, though. He is able to get a double kill from it. Config returns the favor, but Sean gets 2 of his own. It's 2 for Tuesday right now as all the frags are going in doubles. Config left in a 1v3. Potential for him to achieve something, but it's going to be hard to actually fight all of these as 1v1s, especially when Sick is in the rear. It's a nice spam from him. Eventually, we'll polish that round off and finish it up as it goes 5-4 in the scoreline. Misfits continuing off the back of that better-looking CT side setup.
Exactly that. 5-4 now. 2 rounds of the drop for Misfits, so they can start to put up some economy. You can see their money starting to bloom slowly but surely. 5,600 for Sick. Shazam with 3.46k, which means if they do lose a round, Jack, they're going to get the money round loss bonus, so they can still buy going forward. And what's crucial here is they finally forced out an eco from MSL, from North, to where they can stack up the cash in this round, use this as a money developer.
Oh, look how much damage has already been done as well. Everyone is so weak off the back of this eco, so there's no even chance for potential weird shake-ups or upsets to come off the back of this. It is just going to be easy frags through and through. 4 for Sick, 1 for Shazam, and another round for them.
5 players staying alive, a very clean and clinical Antika coming out from Misfits, playing far back, mowing down the T's as they come out from platform, no one playing close range versus the Pistols, and having 5 players alive, which means no players needing the drop, and all players receiving the $3,500 round win bonus. They no longer have to reinvest into dropping players and whatnot, so they can start to develop their money going forward. But let's see, round number 11, 6-4. What is MSL going to be changing going forward? He's going to be grouping up now towards B and countering the map control, but unfortunately, your star player taking out the servers. Config hits the deck.
Right, Not good at all, especially this, the continuation of the damage being done there. Sean Guess with a P90 and drop, just ripping his way through MSL. Frustrations will definitely be rising up off the back of that one, but huge impact kills from AZ there. A lovely double. Valde also claiming one, puts them in a scenario to actually fight against them and win this round. Sick can be a key member, but not when he wasn't focusing in, wasn't ready for that backstab from Cajun. Timing not working out at all there, so it only falls to Anek now, who is so far away. This should be North's round, potentially. They have so much time to waste. There is no kit on Amanek. He's not in a great spot at all. It's a 1v3, and they have a lot of time to get into good post plants.
1 versus 3, as I said before. Amanek, they know they have money to buy into the next round. What he can do, though, Jack, is he expects North's money to be low. They've invested everything into this round after concluding with the eco. If he gets some exit frags here and breaks their money even further, 1 or 2 kills would be crucial going forward.
See, he's waiting for it. He's hoping they might at least nudge towards him in some way. As he does hold the angle, Cajun might actually be a sacrifice for him, as he will be able to find that kill.
And that's big. He's taken out a third player now from North, which means only AZ and Valde can potentially drop over. But if they all die here, Jack, this is going to be awful for the likes of North.
Ooh, close. But Valde will survive just at the end.
Look at the damage Amanek has just done. Yes, he didn't survive and bring forward his M4, but it's the difference and the weight that the money is between these two teams. North's money was low. They invested everything they had, so outside of their buy, they had no cash to fall back on in the reserves. The complete opposite for Misfits, they had cash in the hand, which they could invest into this round, which meant Amanek, each and every weapon he took out from North, had a much greater impact of the money of the Danes.
It's true. Their economy, in terms of what they have at the bank for the following rounds, is not looking healthy. So if they do start to take losses or expensive rounds, it really will hurt them as the game continues. Now, 1 round away from obviously equalising the scoreline here at 6-6. Can Misfits try and continue it and further that lead?
Conversely, though, Jack, on the flip side for Misfits, yes, if North win this one at 6-6, but against that is, what if Misfits win this round and it goes 7-5 and they break the money from North? They're going to force out and reset the round loss bonus to 1.4k. North will be broke. They're forced onto a CZ force buy, then an eco. We could be looking at the start of a 9-5 half, maybe even a 10-5 half if this goes their way.
And this could be the start of it. Amanek in the elevated angle. They try and peek out. They want to try and stay close to the wall so they could get in even when blind. Shazam as well. Very nicely played off the back of the flick. Tries to go for more, but slightly misses it. Still able to stay alive for quite some time before he is put into his grave. Cajun will be the one to send him off. Sick coming in from behind, though. He's been so effective at doing this time and time again. Sets Valde up on a date with the coroner as he needs to try and continue this even further into the round. You can see Cajun and AZ are going to be paranoid. They're going to be terrified now. The bomb has gone down. They're in somewhat manageable positions, but a 3v2 like this with the sheer disparity of how much HP they actually have on that T side, it should be easy for Misfits. Nice HE usage coming in as well, so it'll burst in towards the site, try and provide them a little bit more leeway. AZ actually could get a bit of spray off. He finds the double kill as well. AZ doing the unthinkable. It all comes down to Sick. A 1v1 elevated angle comes out for Cajun. Smart stuff. He takes him down.
Heartbreaking for Misfits. AZ on 20 HP. Cajun be isolated towards default. A 3 versus 2. They have the defuse kits. Reset on the cards, on the cusps of coming to full effect. And as I said before, as the action went underway, we could have been seeing a 9-5 scoreline where North were forced to saving, maybe potentially equaling to the last round if they had lost this round. Then into a force buy where the money would be low, CZ, weak buy, rush B, probably get anti-ecoed. Then a full eco where they had to save for the last round. This should have been Misfits half. Instead, AZ goes huge, a big 2-man spray down towards APC. And this is why the A side's so hard to retake, Jack. It's the off angles, it's the crossfires, it's the different positions you can play where the CTs are basically running in sideways to you, right? You're shooting players in the side, you get the first kill, very easy to get the second as well when they're not looking, they're not ready for it.
That is true. The thing as well, though, it is actually quite an effective CT half we've seen so far. Very close. Obviously, if you think about the things in the grand scheme of this matchup, especially for a side like Misfits, they have a lot they can play with on their T side. That is where their playbook is essentially 2 pages thicker than their CT half. They have more they can do. So if they can at least try and further this a tad bit more, get a favourable scoreline here as we get to the end of this half, and really play that style of CS we expect to see on their T half, potentially there is room for them to take the upset here against North.
Problem is, though, Jack, they're going to be forced onto a Corsi buy, 2 Sister Kevlar, Deagle for Sick, and apart from that, bare bones buy with light utility as KGB finds the first.
Oh, there is a response, though. Sick with the Deagle. Pops the head of Cajun B. Doesn't need an AWP, all he needs that hand cannon.
They tried to use the HE grenade to blow the AK out of platform towards their hands.
Smart stuff. Pushing through Devadet, though, close range with a P250. That is absolutely dominant stuff as he pops the head clean off of AZ now. They can work their way back through and grab those weapons and arm themselves.
Here it is, Amanek, the French import for the side of Misfits, could go huge. Let's see if he's worth the money.
Oh, he's heard it, but he tries to shoot a little bit too early. Wasn't in too much of a favourable spot, so he gets tags off and the info for his team, but no real impact kills. Sean Gerslow on the side of the CZ, trying to go for the reload. The panic is coming through. Obviously, the draw time on the CZ is so slow, so he couldn't rearm himself to actually get that second frag. Could have been more, but still nicely done. But North instantly bite back. As soon as you give him an inch, they will take a mile. Amanek is the only man remaining. He's going to be kicking himself that he didn't do more damage earlier on. Dinks in the side of the head as well. 74 HPs. Going to be so timid into this one. It's an awful spot to be left in. They just have so much more firepower, Snods.
1 versus 2. Can't even save a weapon as well. There is a AWP towards Hobbit or towards the balcony, which it seems like he's trying to see if he can salvage it in the next round. Or, because they spotted Amanek towards mid, they're going to try and exit via connector, which they are.
Oh, he hears this as well. He takes down Config here. That's the free up. Very well played.
Was indeed. Obviously, they expect him to be towards T-spawn. Instead, went right back around, expected where North, or should I say, Config was going to exit. And he finds that frag. 6 to 7, not only the frag, but also the AWP going forward. But the money is still stable.
Yeah, puts him in a good spot. I mean, they can actually buy up around this very effectively, because you can pass that over to Shazam. Skimps on the cash a little bit as well.
Double AWP. Amanek usually is the secondary AWPer. And will a double AWP setup work versus what North is doing? The problem is, a double AWP setup is very good versus the contact style play, right? Yes, North will walk up A long. That could be very effective. But if we see North either rush towards B or take control of drop and then split towards the B side, the double AWP setup is not going to really be too effective.
Yeah. Let's see if they're going to be aware of this and work around it, obviously, as we continue on now. Grouped up quite heavily outside of B into the early round. Tons of utility for either side here as well.
You can see North playing the 4-1 style of CS. 4 players towards one half the map, and then 1 player towards the other half of the map, which tries to sell a fake with grenades, as Config has used his smoke and flashbang towards the A-bomb site, mimicking A-long control, which means Misfits will keep 2 players towards the A site, which is crucial for once the execution comes in. And they can see they've already taken control of drop, and this isn't looking and boding too well for Misfits unless Devadet finds the frag on the Config.
Oh, should be able to get it. Eventually he does so as he gets the wall bang. That was a bit of an awkward fight there. Surviving on 34 HP. Sean as well, trying to aim at the correct spot. Will actually be able to take him down as they trickle towards him. Will fall short, but Amanek is there for the response as well off the back of that secondary AWP. So it's just on Cajun and AZ. They're going to take the fight together. They have the smoke wall to protect them if they do want to try and trickle through this. Looks like they're going to go for the underhand flash straight in. They dive through. Sick is aware. He's had the smart play into the round, though. There was no real way of them dispatching him. So he gets a double. They do tie it up at a 7-7 here.
All equal now going into the final round of the first half here on Cobblestone. And for Misfits, so far, so good. I mean, usually we're expecting stronger T-sides than we see from the CT side of Misfits, especially with the drilled style and regimented style of calling we see from Sean Gers, executions and whatnot, and drilled set strats. So the CT side, when things get a bit looser, a bit more freestyle, we can start to see some panic and frustration. We've seen that already so far. That 4 versus 2 they had, where they panicked towards the drop split, or the round where they had the force by the CZs, they panicked when they rushed up A. But enough of that already. Instead, Devadet finds the first frag. It's going to be the 5 versus 4 North, the very weak force buy.
Oh, trade back, though, as Ainsley actually will be able to take it down off the back of his pistol skills. Amanek and Shazam, though, the AWPs are really starting to unload as they take 2 each and polish off that round towards the end. That is going to be an 8-7 scoreline as Misfits finish it up in the lead. Will they continue this? Can they upset North? Let's find out in the second half after the break. Misfits actually coming through, taking the advantage there at the end of the first half as we see them actually start to warm up, looking quite effective as a unit, especially on that CT side.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been an 11-4 half in favor of the North American side. Sean Gares cooling and providing a very strong CT side defense. I mean, think about the 4 versus 2 split towards drop down, which they lost to 4 versus 2. Think about the 5 versus 3 where they had the force buy, where they panicked towards A. Think about so many of these rounds where it's Misfits with the inexperience, and the inexperience shines through when they lose the rounds which they're favored in.
Well, let's see how these rounds will go as we dive back into the pistol round now. Obviously, the USPs over on the side of North. 1 CZ in commission, though, for MSL. This push is coming out towards the A site. Hazy, all he needs is a USP, though. He can snipe down with it. Stays alive for ages here as well. Eventually, Amanek will take him down as they flood their way through. Deviduek playing with a counterplay. Straight through connector, gets both as he switches around in 180s across the board, punishing everyone in front of him. Config, the last man remaining as well. Somehow Misfits have whipped this one out of the bag.
8-7. This is a second half pistol. Sean Gares has planted the bomb. Config marching through connector door.
Config will get that kill. Takes down Deviduek. Oh, there is a peek from Sean as well. It's a little bit risky. Amanek is coming through from behind. He's softened up Config, though. He's only got 11 HP, and he'll actually take him down as well.
He has indeed. 9-7 as Misfits claim both the pistol rounds, and that's so important and impactful when you think about these upset rounds, these upset games. Having the underdogs winning both pistols, claiming essentially 6 or 5 free rounds from it. And if we see a 6-round buffer, that could be enough to overthrow the likes of North and send Misfits over the finish line of the ever so impactful 16th round. But nevertheless, it's going to be the full eco coming up from North. You can see how much MSL values the utility. This could also signify a double upset from Config and from Valde, but it also means they're going to have 4 utilities, so they're able to counter any rushes on the first buy-on in case the SMGs are kept. Wow, 2.5 to 1.5 betway odds. Those are some very good numbers if you want to take a risk on Misfits.
Yeah, true. It's always worth the...
Especially after winning the second half pistol as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a good start for them. Actually can project them quite far throughout this matchup, obviously, if they continue this. They are playing this one very smart as well. It's slow style CS. They're not rushing into it. Sticking to that Misfit style, especially now, Snods, the fact that they're going to be on their T half. The stars have aligned for them, really.
Yeah, it really has. And the thing is as well, they've had rounds which they've thrown with panicking and inexperience has been shown, and they're still having a 2-round advantage with the force by the ecos coming forward. But this is a very standard anti-eco from Misfits. Just hold, play passive. Usually they take control of drop versus the anti-ecos, but this time they're just going to be walking out platform, but potentially if they walk close range versus the likes of a CZ, maybe it could end badly here for the North Americans. Yeah,
playing close towards Broken Wall, especially with Valde just being able to find frags like this as he kicks it off. This can be awful. Stays alive for a little bit of time there, but will be punished on the retreat as Sick will take him down. Further damage being dealt here from the side of Misfits as they walk in as a ragtag squad and just blow apart that defense. It's all on Config as the final remaining member on that side, and he won't be alive for long. Should be sent off to his grave now. A Sick will push towards him and take him down.
10-7 and a 3-run advantage here for Misfits going forward, and it may even grow larger as North are going to be going for the second eco of their second half. As it will be just a P250 invested by Valde. And apart from that, 4 USPs. So are they going to push towards middle? Are they going to do something together as a 5-man unit? Because of course, if they scatter across the map one by one, it's very easy for these MAC-10s or UMPs, even the AKs, just to essentially sort them out very easily.
Oh, we go for the boost up. And they can now just wait for the push to come their way as well. Misfits obviously seeing if there is going to be any potential shenanigans from the side of North, but they're still playing it clean.
And you can see, passive default coming from Misfits. They're expecting a Deagle peek or some CZs, a flash face or something where North try to get the first frag and pull a trick up their sleeve, try to get the first kill towards platform. Instead though, Misfits are holding and Sean Gares should be met by Config as he finds the first frag, and this could mean over-rotation from North towards the A-bomb site if they leave B, and that's perfect for Misfits if they want to go back towards the B-bomb site, which may be a bit more empty, as you can see. AZ and MSL starting to rotate.
Yeah. Looks like they've switched it up, though. Obviously, AZ actually didn't get too far off. MSL barely even moved as well. So they're still close to this B site. 6 forced them to stay there now as they hear him coming in. They should still find success in this round, especially off the back of that. Now the round's basically as good as done at this point. AZ will be able to get 1 frag, but that's really going to be all she wrote at this point. Amanek going to follow him off as well as he takes him down with the MAC-10. So still building up cash from those SMGs as well. Misfits 11 rounds. Finally, there is a chance for North to respond.
4-run advantage here for Misfits on their T side, and with the MAC-10 as well, they could go for an execution at the start of the round, Jack, go for a wall of smokes towards the A site, and from that try burst B with the smokes and get close range with the SMGs. You can see, as I said before, when I saw the double eco twice in a row, I was expecting 2 orbs and heavy utility, and we're seeing just that now. Config and KJB going to be warding the dual orb setup, and this is what you want to see from Misfits, an execution to not only counter the orbs, but isolate the players on site, which means these SMGs, or the SMG on Amanek, is going to be fighting players close range. It's not going to be long-range duels through the smoke that it connects it onto Sick.
Oh, it won't even matter, Snons. That is a explosive entry there. That is one to remember, especially. Sick going down nearly the front, and he gets it. Valde taking both of them down as he just spams through the smoke. Obviously warding some kind of thermal vision here.
The execution will still come, though. Valde holding the line, see if he can get any more.
So get ready for this push. Valde playing close by Broken Wall. He'll be able to get too much more out of this round. There's the third. Begins to back off, switches out, tags in his partner. MSL will claim one, but Amanek will be able to rip his head back off as they bite back into this round. It's all on Amanek now. A 1v4, 50 seconds to play. If you do have the bomb, it just depends what he wants to opt to actually do.
1 versus 4. Best option here, Jack, is to try and whittle down the CT economy of each frag he finds. As if you can try and find 2 frags here and mean potentially UMP into the next round, because obviously only 2 players could drop over into round number 20 from North. So if we saw Orb, or 2 Orbs, an M4, maybe a UMP potentially, that could definitely aid Misfits going forward if they want to try and reset the money. Finds the first frag, and he try to get a second.
Well, he is going back in. He's risking it a little bit here, but it's not going to pay off, unfortunately. Config was poised with the Orb and will be able to take that strike against him, and actually shuts him down. Go look at the cash as well. Sick's the only one that's actually skipping out quite a lot here. And Valde, these frags early on to open this up, especially that first one towards Sick. I mean, I think that kind of just threw an entire spanner into the work for the whole round for Misfits, really. They didn't know what to do off the back of that, and then there was the quick follow-up.
I was about to bring that up, Jack. This is the problem with Cobblestone. If that's cash, okay, you lose your first 2 players early in their main through the smoke, you go up through mid, you boost, you take mid control, and then you go for an A-split. If that's Mirage, you go back towards mid, you can go underpass, you can do whatever you want to, right? If you die throwing your ace smokes, go back, underpass, whatever, right? Problem is, on a map like Cobblestone, it's very hard to try and emulate that, and instead to force a tunnel back in towards the B side, and right now it seems like they're going to be funneling in towards A.
Oh, trying to just burst their way through and use the tempo to actually catch that CT side off guard. MSL and AZ doing work, though. Luckily, Sean is ready to rip them a new one. Absolutely fantastic play comes out of him as he finds 2 frags in quick succession there. Marksman and Shazam arriving on the scene of the crime as well as he will punish Valde. There's the 3rd and final frag off the back of Sean Gares, and that is going to be Misfits instantly biting back against North.
Oh, look at the cash for North. $1,700 for AZ, 2.4K for MSL, only on 5 frags as well. Yes, he has the tactical input. The problem is, if you're not putting the weight and not finding your frags on the CT side as well, it can be very hard once you leave your team in retake scenarios. I mean, if you're never finding your frag or towards the A side, towards drop, towards B, it gives so much more space towards the T side, and also it makes it so much harder for your teammates in those retakes, and they're always a man down.
Yeah. Questions have to be answered at some point, and obviously this is the thing. This pause coming through shows that North are actually on the back burner quite a lot here. They're not in a good spot in terms of their economy, in terms of confidence as well, you'd imagine, being on that CT side. And for Misfits, it's only going to get stronger and stronger. Their T side's already looking very effective. If it improves steadily at the pace that it's looking like it should, it could be a bloodbath. I mean, this should be the 13th round for Misfits. At that point, it's such a ridiculous lead to have to deal with.
It is, Jack. If it does go 13-8, a 5-round advantage for Misfits. Another round as well versus the Pistols, where they should, in theory, have a clean round 4 or 5 or even 3 players staying alive, picking up frags left, right, and center, and having a clean and clinical round, which means they can build more cash going forward. So then they can then buy over and over again. So even if North pick up rounds, there's always the reset potential for Misfits to try and break the money and shatter the CT economy going forward.
I think it's the form of Sean that I'm so impressed with as well. Looking absolutely fantastic. In terms of the, you know, if you compare both of these 2 players right now with MSL and Sean, it's just the outclassing that he's doing against other massive impact fraggers. We're seeing him walk into the site, just blow AZ out of the water and continue on his warpath, whereas MSL right now just looks a little bit broken internally, and the entire structure of North seems quite somber.
It's quite nice as well to see that you can expect, right, the sleepless night, the sleepless nights, the stress as well on Sean Gares, trying to see if he can make, obviously, Echo Fox, now Misfits, where from Cloud9 he went from the top to the bottom very quickly, essentially overnight, and the hard work finally paying off, having potentially the upset versus a team like North and this caliber. bodes well going into the major qualifier, especially when it comes to confidence into that event, and also LAN experience to have the composure, I guess, to try and keep your cool. Even when you're in the advantage here, if they panic and get a bit too apprehensive going forward, they could throw this one away too easily.
Well, let's see. AZ has been armed with an AK. Not words you ever want uttered if you are facing off against him, as he can be incredibly effective with that weapon. Sig will be able to trade it back on towards MSL, though, and gets them another man lead as he furthers this as well. Cbble now going down. It's all on AZ and Valde, and most likely it is just going to be the save call. AZ looking like he is going to try and slither out of there and stay alive somewhere at the back of mid here.
And there you have it. Valde and AZ forced to save. Valde only saving the CZ. Can try play for exit frags. See if he can find an AK. Obviously get an exit frag. We saw Amanek do that earlier and save the orbit to the next one, which had so much impact and power. But 13th round up for Misfits. And we will be seeing another buy coming out from North. Or will we, Jack? Look at their money still. $1,000 for Valde, $1,000 for MSL. They're only going to have a 1.9K round loss bonus. So this could be a double equal. This could easily be 14-8. And if it is 14-8, Jack, 6-round advantage. Misfits are essentially one buy round away from getting to match point, and if they reset the money there, that could be the silver lining and the funnel and the coffin to get to 16 if they break the money for a what, third or fourth time. This is really something to behold going forward, but what is Misfits going to do? We see usually on their anti-ecos they like to take control of drop control. The reason being is you flush out the CZs and whatnot. And playing towards electric as well, you can very easily split towards B and have a very effective anti-eco.
Oh, he bypassed Valde as well. He's been so effective from playing close towards Breakable. Amanek with the double, sick with the third as well towards MSL. MSL Shazam then blows apart Cbble. They wanted to go for a burst round, played it off the back of tempo, smokes from spawn, continue that on the fly, straight in. Amanek with a spectacular double entry. From that point, it all went wrong.
And this is the confidence starting to ooze out of Misfits. How often do you see a fast round like that called by Sean Gares? Typically, and time again, all the games we've seen so far today from Misfits, it's slow passive holds into an execution or into a contact play. Oh, this could be the early side smokes. Versus the double up, this is perfect, Jack. What they're doing is they're doing a wall of smokes. They can molly out Chicken Coop and isolate the players on the B bomb site. This could be the final and the coffin here if the upset's going to come.
Well, let's see if this is going to be match point grab by them into this round as it slows down now.
Oh, wow. So instead, they're going to cancel the execution off the back of that platform smoke. The problem is, though, there's an AWP towards Chicken Coop onto Cbble, so if they went with it with the wall of smokes, that would have been Cbble and Valde alone towards the B-bomb site. If the flashes were strong, Valde's playing close, he could have been caught out. Cbble was mollied out, could have been mollied out as well towards Chicken. But now they've slowed the pace down, and this is where things get really, really tricky for Misfits. This is where they're really going to be tested, Jack. Where the boys become men, essentially. 1 minute left on the clock, and there's no map control so far for Misfits apart from B-platform. Sean Gares alone towards the A site. Is it going to be enough here?
Yeah. As this develops, with more and more time trickling off, and North being able to play from the positions there are, it's getting more in their favor. This is really where they should be able to play to their strength.
Silver lining, though, for Misfits. Look at the utility currently for North. 3 flashbangs and no defuse kits. Double up, so an execution would be the perfect call right now from Sean Gares. Render the orbs useless versus the wall of smokes versus the flashbangs you have. You have a Molotov as well from Sean Gares if he wants to molly out Chicken Coop. And of course, a lack of Molotovs, a lack of smokes as well as the clock does tick down, and here it comes.
Which comes around, Cajun with the first peek, will get the frag off the back of it as well. MSL attempting to find that headshot, grabs it, Valde with a double kill. The late push does not bode well for Misfits. Valde finds a triple and bags the round for North.
No presence towards the A side from Misfits. Allowed North to have 4 players towards B. They had 2 towards drop. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, 2 towards drop. 1 window, 1 playing Speedway, and obviously playing towards Speedway, you can then obviously, Valde can obviously spin around and suddenly aid towards platform. You then have the player towards the cubby, and also Cbble found the first. Playing anti-flash. Flashes come in, he then faces, not blind against that first frag. So for Misfits now, this is where the going gets tough. Are they going to try and go for a slow place round again? Or will they just up the tempo, try and overconfidence North?
Looks like the burst play has been in order, but AZ with a close range hug on towards Sick will eventually take him down. Deviduet with a trade back though as he recovers the bomb as well. They've flooded in. They've really gained a lot of map control. There needs to be some kind of quick ideas from North, or this round is going to be going the way of Misfits, and it continues in that fashion as well. Sean Gares with a follow-up frag, takes down MSL. Shazam! Barely brings it back. Not too sure what he was up to there. but somehow he's able to stay alive and find that frag on towards Config. Luckily redeems himself with a further kill on towards Cajun as well. Quickly bucks up his ideas as he switches around, but Valde will still take him down, grabs the AWP, but realizes now North must play for overtime.
Valde forced to save. It's going to go 15-9. 6 match points now for the North American side if they want to try and have the upset on the cards and try and see if they can make that available. 6 chances, the closest one out in regulation, Jack, and they've had the first match victory, which was expected versus NRG. 16-11, expected scoreline, expecting match victory, but this is something out of the waters. And it's the way as well, that core was so strong. I've seen that execute before, Jack, from Luminosity, where you smoke towards the CT side of long. Usually when you're playing on the CT side defense, you smoke off long, you play towards APC, you play towards wood and whatnot. But actually, if you do that on the T side at the start of the round, Config plays towards Matrix or towards close A long. So what do? You smoke Matrix, you then smoke the close wood CT side of A long, and you run up middle. You isolate Config in the smoke, so he can't peek you or stop you. The A site is yours. You then deal with Config by whiffing a few shots, but eventually Shazam dealt with him. But you isolate the site and you basically warden off the CT side, and the A bomb site was essentially for free. Obviously, there was the one frag where Sick died with the bomb, but it's a fast trade by Sean Gares. That point going forward, the A site was theirs, and obviously, notoriously, this A bomb site, Jack, is so hard to retake. And Misfits, they just showed us why.
Now we get left into this situation where, I mean, North left in a spot where...
What do you do? Yeah, what do you do? I mean, you have no confidence going forward into this one. MSL's unable to get himself into the matchup in terms of the scoreboard. How's he trying to get into it, tap into it mentally as well in terms of his cooling and his tactics? As he is right now 6 frags for 23, but obviously a player like MSL, his impact is far greater than the scoreboard. Nevertheless, round number 25, 6 match points now, and 6 rounds of the trial required for North to bring this one back into overtime. As we see potentially the final buy for the CT side, as it's going to be FAMAS for AZ, UMP and SMGs for MSL, and Config, Valde the M4, and the AWP once again for Cbble.
Valde, he's going to be up to his old tricks, playing towards close broken wall. Config, quite an aggressive stance. It depends on the timing, and Devdurek actually will take him down as well. Sick now bursts through mid. They're going for this all-out aggression towards the A-site. Sick with the entry on AZ. This very well could be that final round, Snot, as everything is aligning for Misfits to pick up the victory in a 16-9 fashion against North. And they're still playing smart CS. The adaptation, they lampoon back round, they're going to be.
Look at the composure right now. They're not getting overzealous. They're not getting overconfident. They're not rushing off of these frags. They keep their composure. They keep their calm. And they go back and they revitalize their T side and recalibrate towards the B bomb side. Sean Gared leads by example, but eventually will be taken down by Valde. Goes for a second, but a turn of the flashbang. Well, another French import to get this frag. Sick jumps out window. It's all down to the IGL and captain, MSL. And I believe, Jack, this could be the upset of the day.
It very well should be. This should be that round claimed. I mean, MSL, basically you can't amount to anything at this point. He's been struggling through and through throughout the matchup. Just going to be charging in, realizes that his fate is sealed, trying to delay the inevitable, will go down. A 16-9 scoreline. And there you have it, Misfits, a double win so far in their group, setting themselves up to have an absolutely fantastic day. And one of them being against North. When we looked at it on paper, we thought, right, North should be pretty comfortable. Not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, usually what happens when we have the underdog victories, Jack, we're expecting, okay, it was a 16-13 or something. It was a very close game, and the underdogs won both pistols, and because they won both pistols, they won the matchup, right? That's how it falls in history, essentially. Instead, though, Jack, this could have been a 16-7. How many rounds were thrown by the inexperience from Misfits, which is so crucial to gain and garner together going into the major qualifier only momentarily next month. So this is crucial for Misfits to gain confidence, gain the experience they need as a 5-man roster heading into the major qualifier, but most importantly, trying to see if they can upset this group and make it out in that 3rd, or who knows, even higher than that position.
I think this is the thing as well. It comes back to basically back up what we were saying. You have a strong CT half. That's all they really needed. As long as they had a formidable CT side, as soon as they got to that T side, everyone was in their element. You could see round through and through, depending on what was being thrown at them. The way North were playing, Misfits were always kind of on the page ahead. They were always 1 or 2 steps ahead in terms of the strategy there. And it was smart control-based plays as well from Misfits, especially demonstrated even towards that final round. You're in a scenario where basically you've won the game. Not only that, you're at such a huge disparity in terms of the round lead, but you've still played that exaggerated style of CS, been able to go for the late round rotate towards B, and really just given it your all. So fantastic
this play was so crucial. That for me right there from Sean Gares is the play of the game. The reason being is you had the second half pistol buffer, so it was the first Byron is won by North, And then in the second buy round, the hero jumped through the smoke there from Sean Gares to basically backstab the two anchors on that A site and reset the money for North. And that is the salient point going forward, is the resets on the... Oh, God. How many times did they reset T side? 2? Maybe even 3 on CT? This was 4 or 5 resets. MSL and North unable to conjure up rounds in continuity, string them together. And because of the lack of rounds won in a row, there was no money to build off of.
Yeah, it's true, but there you have it. Misfits will be picking up that victory there. 2 wins for Misfits, but there is still more to come. NRG battling up against the Swedish superstars in NIP. That will be up next over here on the B stream with Harry and Hugo. Stick around for that.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, NVIDIA